another one of my impromptu videos. I'm making some more dragonflies for a pair of gates I'm working on. These dragonflies are actually going to be for the same client as I made the original dragonfly. I guess if you want to see images of that, look on my website. The gate in question is Rose and Clematis gate. Anyhow, so because I put some images once upon a time, like a sort of sequence, like a storyboard sequence of how I made them, onto a blacksmithing Facebook group, and a lot of people were interested. So as I'm making some at the minute, and they're sort of part made, I thought I'd just take the opportunity to make a little video. So basically, the majority of the dragonfly is forged from just half-inch round bar. That is actually half-inch round bar. It's not 12mm. I mean, I normally have 12mm, but I used half-inch because I wanted something a smidge bigger. So yeah, basically, the majority of it is forged from half-inch round bar, and pretty simple. Just using hot cut to sort of nick in around here. A different shaped hot cut to like isolate the head material. The wings made from, I think it's like 2mm sheet. That's what I had anyway. 1.5 or 2mm sheet. I think it's 2mm. And then like with some lines chiseled in, I use a needle scaler to like pummel in all these little ding, 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 ding for extra texture. And then I weld them together on the back like that. Anyway, I'm sort of waffling, but the point of what I was getting onto is that these are made from 5mm bolts, and you can just about see on this one, because I haven't yet filed this one down as well, you can see the like residual bits of thread. So basically what I did is I started off by filing the thread down a decent amount and then forging the head into a square bit, because basically what I want is a square hole in the wings, a square hole in the top of here, but a round countersunk hole in the bottom. So ultimately, this goes through the wings, through here, and then engages in the square hole and through there, so that the wings can't rotate on the top. Then I countersunk rivet through on the underside and do like a square head, sort of rose head nail type rivet on the top. So like with this one here, you can see obviously it's round hole because I haven't yet drifted that to square, so they sit on top. So obviously that, if that does go through at all, it would only go through, it wouldn't like engage on the square section. But the little simple thing that I made ages ago when I made the first one was this like little saddle thing. So like sits in the vise, got a hole in it, and that hole has actually even slightly become squared because of drifting the square taper punch thingy. So like if I use that one as an example, that would sit in that little swayed out section. I'd get my, drop it, that's good, good start. That would sit in that little swayed out section, and then I use this to hammer down on the back to drift that up to a square hole, and basically do the same thing with that. So yeah, maybe I'll pause this and maybe I'll show like the riveting stage, maybe, I don't know. I'm a bit pushed for time today. Right, so that's all filed down neatly. That's been drifted to square, that's drifted to square. So that should drop through there and drop through that. then, excuse me, oh, okay, that's not gonna, do it on this one. Right, so if I give this a tap, that square shape will bind inside this, because remember that is not square all the way through, it goes to round on the other side. So if I give this a tap, it will bind. Make sure the wings are orientated as I want them. Right, so that's wedged in there now, and that gives me, there's about 8mm of excess material there, which I think is plenty. So to fill this on the underside, I just need to trim a bit off. So I'm just going to put a mark about there. In fact, actually, I can take the wings off thinking about it. Then Okie finokie, right, I'll put that one aside and I'll do the same thing with the other one. Drop that through. Okay, another one of those rings, so that's one, and two, go there, I'll mark on this one, there. Better put a number 2 on this one, hadn't I? Otherwise I'll get confused about which dragonfly is which. Number 1 on that one. Right, so next stage is to, that's done its job now. Tighten this up. Right, get my oxypropane torch, pause that. I'd say that's a pretty damn good guess. I'll say that is. How's about that then? That's a good guess, isn't it, of how much material to allow excess. Right, do the same with the other one. Number 1. Right, Yeah, that's decent. What I should have said earlier on is that the reason for doing this is I have to attach them to a gate, and I want the wings to be attached in a way that didn't involve welding them, and also means that the backside of the underside of the dragonfly can sit flush against the gate without any like lumps and bumps from making it stick out. What's next? Okay, so this is number one again. Basically, I've just put this thing back into the vise. I've given this a minute to cool down because obviously that's hot under there. So now what I have to judge is how much to leave on this side to form the rivet over on that side, and I think there's about 8 mil there. I think it will be a smidge too much, so I'm going to estimate that I probably want that down. About there, something like that. That seems a little bit illegal. That seems a little bit better. No, I do have some more. Right, I think there's 5 in there time. So I'm going to have to file off the accessory carefully. I don't want to press up the rotated point perfectly. More here. Yeah, you can see. Like this. I'm going to repeat that process again on the other one, obviously. How hot is that? I've got to round off the end here, and I also have to do more filing on the head to create more shape. Is that hot? Okie dokie, so these are the two dragonflies. Sorry that I'm sort of jumping around and not showing every little stage, etc. So I've filed in some sort of head shape. I didn't show this stage because I thought it was a bit boring. It takes quite a while and a bit boring just to... They're going to focus on the head over there. Yeah. So basically they are for these gates which I've nearly finished. I've got to make a butterfly too. And what I'm thinking is I've got to position these around the gate somewhere. As what I did with the first dragonfly that I made for the last gate that I made for these clients, was I drilled here and here. I drilled and tapped 4 mil holes So about there and there. And what I then did is on the old gate is I chose a location and I put up the dragonflies and I drilled holes and countersunk them. So basically countersunk bolts went through and then screwed into here and here. So I didn't drill all the way through. I did like blind holes. So that meant that I could like treat them, zinc treat them and paint them separately to the rest of the gates. I didn't want to get them damaged like when this gets galvanized and that. So basically what it meant is I could then fix them to the gates. So basically I'm going to do the same thing. And I reckon that what I'll probably do is I'll put one maybe like up here on one of the scrolls, potentially like that maybe, or yeah, an angle or something, and then the other one probably like down over here, so they're kind of diagonally opposite points at the gate, like up there and then down there potentially. What I'm conscious of is that I want them to be at points where there's as little flex as possible. So like if I put them up here where it's got flex or on a leaf or like on a loose leaf or something, then, you know, I don't know. I like to be sure that nothing is going to sort of like stress, like snap over time. These are hot. I'm not going to touch it. But this here, it's got like a half round ridge in the middle. That one, and let me just move this out of the way. This one here, which is shorter in length, were pieces of angle iron, which I've flattened. And then using this have like worked the ridge in the angle iron into like a half round shape, because what I'll do is I'll draw on the butterfly wing shape that I want. I don't know, that is a shockingly bad drawing of a butterfly, but it'll be something akin to that, and it'll have its bit at the back. And then what I do is, like, because I've made a butterfly before, is I split this bit here, and like, let's say it gets chopped there, like that, then that can get split and go off that way and become an antenna, and it's got this little like tail, whatever you want to call it. And then, but the reason for doing it like that as well is what that allows me is to do the same thing of having it fit flat against something, and a countersunk bolts go into the back of this, so it's basically all discrete. Obviously, like, this isn't just going to get, I'm not just like, these wings will get textured and folded up and all the rest of it. But one of the ideas that I'm toying with, I haven't yet figured out because I haven't yet made the latch, is potentially to make the butterfly the latch somehow, maybe. Yeah. Oh, separately, not loose, but these big hostas are going to become part of the hinge posts, because these gates have got quite complicated hinges. I might make another video on that sometime.